Quiz question. What sign of the zodiac rules the new group of world servers? What sign of the zodiac rules the new group of world servers? Taurus. Taurus, quite right. Taurus. Can't remember if I mentioned this last night, but the whole group is considered one entity in the Master's eyes. And that entity is called by another name. It's called the World Disciple. And we're told that the sign of Taurus is the governing energy for that one entity. Taurus is incredibly important as we enter into the Aquarian age. It's like I would say there's three signs that are most important, and these are two of them. You know, we've got Aquarius, we've got Taurus. They're both on the fixed cross, so they're related. But Taurus is very much about grounding. Taurus is an earth sign. Taurus is a building sign. Taurus is has a lot to do with, well, the Tibetan calls it the sign of the light bringer. The sign of the light bringer. And it's about revealing the light hidden within form. It's about being able to see what's trying to work through a form and how to assemble the form so that more of its light can come through. I always like to use the example of a piece of art to highlight this. You know, if you look at a painting, and let's say it's got a lot of things to the painting, in a way you're just looking at a bunch of forms. Every object, every color, every line is a form. But when forms are rightly related to each other, something comes out of the painting, and that's called beauty. So beauty could be defined as a quality that arises through the right relationship of form. Ask any artists in here? Most artists will tell you, if you ask them, that some of the most important aspects of a painting is in the space between things, in terms of it's in relationship. An object in itself is not what creates the sense of beauty. It's contrast in relationship to something else perceived. It's in relationship that the beauty arises. But see, that's kind of what Taurus is about, because Taurus has a lot to do, so therefore the new group of world servers has a lot to do with looking deep into something to sense what is the quality that wants to express itself through a form. In the case of the artist, it's what is the beauty that it's sensing, that can come through, and how can it assemble the form to make it more visible and recognizable to others. Because you see, what's so important to realize when using this artistic example is that the painting is not creating the beauty. The beauty pre-exists the painting. The painting is just an assembly of form to reveal that which already is. You see? That's important. The beauty pre-exists. You intuit it. That's what the disciple must do. We must intuit what is the energy that's behind something, and then how can we assemble and build a pattern of forms out in the outer world that can make it more readily realized by others. And it doesn't have to be a painting. I just use a painting as an example. It could be the business person who works in a company and supervises a department and is recognizing that every task in that department is a form. Because don't think of form as just physical. The way something is done is a form as well. And that if we can arrange the form in a different way, maybe we could change things. Maybe in that office we could merge tasks together. We could eliminate this, simplify this, so that the whole thing works more efficiently. That's efficiency in a way and beauty are synonymous terms. So the sense of efficiency is realized by the disciple And it's an attempt at reorganizing pattern to reveal it so that it becomes evident in the department. But the manager, the disciple, who's a third-rate disciple, let us say, working in that environment, intuits something called efficiency, and intuits, senses it's there, but it's not given evidence by the way things are done this way. It has to be rearranged so that it's given visibility and evidence. And so he rearranges the form to reveal that which is really, he senses already. See? Same thing. That's what the discipleship world is about. Or, what if it's the teacher? The teacher who's, think of how to do this. You've got an idea, and you want to convey it to a student. Well, if you take that idea and you assemble words to convey it, those are forms. If it's poorly assembled, it falls on deaf ears. If it's well assembled, it becomes an enlightened realization. That too is an assembly of form. And the energy that is there, it reveals an understanding or a piece of wisdom. The key is this. What the whole source of discipleship, friends, everything having to do with the new group of world servers is about the word revelation. Revelation. To reveal the light. To reveal light. Whether it's the light of beauty, the light of efficiency, the light of knowledge. Those are the three examples I just gave you. But it could be other things. The light of purpose, the light of idealism, the light of organization. I think years ago I did a workshop here that was called Revelation, Holding the Mind Steady in the Light. And I presented to those who were in attendance a list of all of the lights mentioned in the Alice Bailey writings, light of this, light of that. And you can't believe how many lights there are, how many sacred lights there are. I mean, I was shocked myself when I started going through and doing a word search on all of the materials in the Alice Bailey writing, just doing a search, light of something. It was quite something to... it took me at least 2 glasses of wine to get through this, but I did it, okay? And it was so revelatory in its own right. So everything's about revealing light. And my favorite sentence when it comes to the subject of light is this sentence. Light is known by what it reveals. Light is known by what it reveals. That's what a disciple is about. That's what the new group of servers is about, to reveal some light. The light of understanding, the light of love, the light of knowledge, whatever it is. Taurus is all about that. But Taurus is about one more thing, right there. Taurus is about the third eye. Taurus is about the opening of the third eye. Taurus is about the eye of the bull, the eye of God, the eye of vision. Every disciple who's on the path, who's a member of the new group of world servers, has the third eye at least partially open. That's another prerequisite. And what is the third eye? How do you recognize it in your nature, in your expression? It's through your capacity to see beyond the form, to sense what is the spiritual principles, the energy, the light struggling to express through the form. So, the artist really is going to be much better as an artist if that artist can sense a beauty that is pre-existing the piece of art and is now just trying to assemble objects in the imagery to reveal it. But the light that third eye has to see it before it takes form. My example of the business person who reveals the light of efficiency, he might see the light of efficiency before making the form to reflect it and express it. So the third eye does that. See, the Tibetan says the third eye reveals the soul hidden within all forms. So this is the eye of the disciple in a way. So keep in mind that, well, you've heard the expression hitting the bull's eye, right? Hitting the bull's eye. The bull is a reference to the bull in the sky. It's not an archery term, it's much older than that. It's a reference to the bull in the sky. And it's the eye of God, the eye of the bull, the eye of vision it's called. So that's more reason why this sign is so important. The Tibetan says something interesting about this group. He says, he says this about it. He says, this group in total not only is ruled by the sign of Taurus, but it has a motto. It has a collective motto that is the underlying motto. And here's that motto: the glory of the One. That's the motto. The glory of the One. Capital One. Okay? And he also talks about how above the head of every member of this group, above the head of every member of this group, in subtle substance, is a sacred symbol that only the master can see. And the symbol is this: it's a golden triangle enclosing an even-armed cross with a diamond at the apex of the triangle. Triangle, golden. Even-armed cross, diamond at the apex. And it is said that that symbol should never be made manifest in outer form. It should never be, it's like it should never take concrete manifestation. It is, but a master can see it hovering over your head. That'll put you, I can see it now. You're going to, tonight when you go home and drift off to sleep, you're saying, all right, where are you? I'm going in to find it. I can see it now. Yeah. That's interesting too, because there's three parts to it. There's the triangle, there's the cross, and there's the one. So what do you've got? The triangle is the sacred trinity, and it is often the soul is depicted as a triangle. The cross, inside it, represents the fourfold personality. What's the fourfold personality? The mental body, the emotional body, the etheric body, the physical body. The fourfold personality. And what's the diamond? The monad. The monad. The one, the three, and the four. And so it's right there. Right there. See? And you may remember the mantra for Taurus. Actually, all of us would do well to use the Taurian mantra, or the keynote, because it is the sign of the new group of world servers. It goes like this. And there's two versions of it, so I'll give you both versions. The one I often use is this: I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illumined. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is illumined. That's the Taurian mantra. The other version of it is exactly the same, except the last word is different. It goes, I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. That's the other version of it. More people use the second one than the first one, I think. But okay. Any questions, you guys? Anything you want to ask right now? You got that afternoon look. That afternoon look. Okay. Yeah. Did you know that the new group of world servers also has a sacred week that only is expressed and it's called the Festival Week in honor of the new group of world servers, and it only happens once every 7 years. I'll tell you, I got a quote for you on it. Let's take a look at something here. See if I can find that there. Now this is... So he says here, let me just shrink this just a little bit. He says, it must be remembered that from certain angles, the circle of 12 signs or constellations constitutes a special unity which revolves within our universe of heavens as our planet revolves in the center of our circle of influences. By means of this augmentation during the coming Aquarian zodiacal cycle, groups on the Earth can avail themselves of the tide of Capricornian influences which will flow through into our radius of registration every 7 years. The one just passed gave a tremendous impetus to the work of the new group of world servers and was the cause of the very reaction in the world to their particular impulse. This worked out in every nation and in every group as a marked tendency to goodwill. In 1942 there came another planetary inflow of which we all are begged to avail ourselves and for which we are urged to make due preparation. This week of group impact occurring every 7 years will run from December 21st till December 28th, and if this should at any time fall at the period of the full moon, the opportunity will be most significant. This possibility must be watched. This week should be regarded as preeminently the festival week of the new group of world servers, and after 1942 advantage must be taken of this period and special preparation made. This fact invites the attention of all of us. So, it's a very special period, and in the middle of it, or at the beginning of it actually, is where we have the winter solstice. But it's every 7 years, and the last one happened to be 2012, at the same time as we had the ending of the Mayan calendar. So it just occurred. It just occurred winter before last. But there are people in the esoteric community that every 7 years that becomes a very special week. Many people go into retreat. Many people do some really important sharing work at that time in honor of what they've been working toward. And the connection to Capricorn is important. Capricorn is important. Does anybody know why? What is Capricorn most associated with from the occult perspective? I'm sorry? Well, it's connected to humanity for sure, but Capricorn is the sign that, I'm sorry? The mountain, sorry, I couldn't hear you. The mountain, yes, it's associated with the mountain. And so humanity makes its climb, so to speak, but Capricorn is the sign most associated with initiation in occultism, initiation. All initiations are ruled by Capricorn, all initiations. And Capricorn is called by the Tibetan the sign where the will to achieve arises. And initiation is an achievement. And one of the big lessons or messages that the Christ wants to bring forward into the world is to teach humanity the absolute essential necessity of understanding initiation as a function of your evolution. And to get away from this notion that either you're saved or you're not saved, or you're enlightened or you're not enlightened, that kind of black and white perspective, that the evolution of consciousness is incremental, and there are measurable aspects of consciousness that indicate degrees of readiness for any particular initiation. And Capricorn is all about that. And because humanity is approaching the first initiation, it seems even more fitting that it should be a highlighted period of the time. You know, we're told that all avatars issue forth from Capricorn. all avatars. So it's not surprising that we would celebrate Christmas and the birth of Jesus during at the beginning of the sign of Capricorn, you see? So it's very important.